Hey guys, welcome back to Yes Support. This is episode 5. On this episode, we're going to talk about purpose, finding your purpose, faith on the journey, also, understanding and trying to figure out if the things that you're passionate about coincides with your purpose. So just to start off, I think I knew my purpose before I started my growth journey, but I really didn't know how it was going to be applied in life or in all the things that I did. Sometimes I noticed that I applied it in my everyday walk, and some days I didn't, but I really didn't know how I would use it in entrepreneurship or, advancement in my career. Um, but I believe when I really got on this journey and started this podcast and also just really like finding out about myself and growing and really understanding some stuff, I began to see that I was already walking in my purpose, that I was already doing the things that the Lord had purpose for me to do. I just was not doing them at the full height of what I could be doing. But I was actually using my gifts. Um, and after actually seeing, okay, Lord, how can I better use my gifts, or how can I better use my purpose in advancement of my career, in advancement in life, this podcast came about. And it wasn't something I actually wanted to do, but it gave me the space to really talk about my growth, but also talk about the journey. But as I was doing or planning for the podcast, it also helped me see how, in a lot of ways, I had to have faith on this journey. Um, it helped me see that even when I was doubting myself, that the people around me was already seeing this. Like, I remember when I first heard podcasts, like, I I thought it was for everybody around me but for me. So, like, I really took a lot of notes and was like, hey, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. And looking back on it, some of those notes that I took down for someone else apply to me this day. Um, but I really had to have a lot of faith. Like, I had to say, okay, Lord, it doesn't look like what you're saying it's going to be. Nothing around me is lining up. This happened today. That was just another setback. Um, but I really had to have faith in what I knew the Lord had called me to do, what I knew the Lord had said about me, and what I knew He said my purpose was. But again, if we're talking about learning things in your trauma and trying to unlearn them, what He said my purpose was did not line up with what I thought about myself or what others thought about me. And that had a lot to do with past traumas. It had a lot to do with not understanding the root of things. So what He was saying, what God was saying, or who God was saying I am, and what He was calling me to do, didn't line up with what I was doing currently. Um, so on this journey, even after I found my purpose, it wasn't as easy as walking straight into it. Um, it took a lot of faith, honestly. It took a lot of, okay, I'm on this journey. I'm bettering me, but life's still lifing. Things are still happening around me, Lord. So I had to be really rooted in what I heard. And I also found out that the things that I was passionate about coincided with my purpose. And I'm going to say this. All the things you're good at, just because you're good at it doesn't mean that it's your purpose. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean you're supposed to be doing it. But I don't think I ever thought I was just good at something. Like I thought I can do some things, but I never thought I was good at it. I also didn't even know I was passionate about a lot of stuff. Like 'cause some of the stuff I'm passionate about, some people would be like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that," or I love shopping, and a lot of people used to tell me you shop too much, but it really does coincide with my purpose and a lot of things that I'm building. You know, talking. I got in trouble the most for talking or stating my opinion or having something to say. And that so happened to line up with what I'm doing now. So it was really hard for me to wrap my head around that, oh, I have a purpose. Like I was created for this. But I want to say the hardest part was really seeing and going through life, and it didn't look like what he said is supposed to be. Like, it didn't look like it at all. And I think faith was a big part of that. So, to just wrap it all up, I think we have to really get into a space where we're really trying to hear and understand our purpose. And also, we have to get into a space, because once you get into that space of like, okay, I know this is what I was created to do, you walk in confidence, you feel better about life. But I will tell you that if it doesn't line up, if everything around you if what you're doing does not align with what you feel as though you're supposed to be doing, just believe, just continue to keep having faith and walk in it. I do a job that doesn't I do a job that I ain't gonna say I don't want to do it. I mean, thank you, Lord, for a job, but it's not my end goal. But I still get to use my purpose on this job every day. I still get to do the thing I was purposed to do on this job every day. Excuse me. And it's funny I'm saying it because I'm really just now realizing that I do that because I didn't think about that at first. But I still walk in my purpose every day. So like I said, even though it doesn't look like it, even though you might find moments to walk in your purpose, and then some days you feel like, okay, I'm trying to do this every day, I'm not able to. Even if you feel like the Lord has said, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is the job. This is what you're supposed to be doing, and you're like, okay, how do I get there? I had a lot of questions like, how do I get from point A to point Z? No in between, like A to the end. I needed to get there real quick. But a lot of times it was in the small steps. It was taking one day at a time. And literally, I said it in another episode, like I'm literally walking in answered prayers. I'm literally walking in things I prayed for. And some of these things I didn't know to pray for beforehand because I didn't know my purpose. And even when I knew my purpose, I thought society made me feel as though if I know my purpose, I should automatically be making money off my purpose. And that definitely was not the case, or is not the case. But I do get satisfaction in being able to walk in my purpose daily. I do. But even some days where I feel as though, oh, I didn't do it, I still know that what he is destined for me is bigger. So I just have to have faith that, okay, Lord, this is what you said. I'm not there yet, but I will get there. So honestly, I think we should all support creating spaces and an environment where we are hearing from the Lord, and we're really understanding what our purpose is. We're understanding how to use it. We understand what purpose is. Because a lot of times I think we think purpose is a hobby or a job or I don't know, but for me, purpose was really it wasn't a hobby or a job. It was, for me, it was really serving, being a servant, and what that looked like for me. And a lot of times I tried to serve the way other people served, but when I realized my purpose, I realized, oh, this is how I'm supposed to serve. And I had already been doing that. So I think we just really need to support getting into a space where we understand what we're purpose for, and we try to get to that point where we're walking in our purpose daily. Um, so, yes, well, that's the wrap of episode 4. I hope you guys comment. Let me know what you guys' purpose is and how you're walking in it daily, or what do you feel like the Lord has called you to do, and you're trying to get there but you haven't been able to do it. Hopefully I can provide some words of encouragement. But thanks for listening. You guys have a great day.